Можно начинать, да? Hello, dear students and colleagues. Sorry for my English and inability to speak your language, but as I have noted during my visits to your beautiful country, the majority of young people there speak English pretty well now, and that is very good. Today, more than 90% of scientific knowledge is publishing in English, and only the rest 8-9% of scientific literature appears on other languages. I guess the subject to which I devoted my course is the most important. It is important for humanity as a whole and for each person. I hope it will give you a wide vision of nutritional physiology for your scientific career, but also for young generation of Uzbek people whom you will supervise while many of you will become pedagogues. And it might help you in your own life to be healthy and successful. What differs this course from many others devoted to many different aspects of nutrition? The main difference is the integrated approach. Make notes integrated approach. Nutrition is the demanded side of our life, that it is distributed among a wide range of science, physiology, biochemistry, chemistry, psychology, evolution, technology, farming, and agriculture, even economic and political sciences. And we have to be thankful for the input of all these different researchers, but we have to get a consolidated view of this phenomenon in general. So, in this course, we will try to overlook an integrated understanding of all aspects of the vital and inseparable phenomenon nutrition. I have to say that fortunately or unfortunately, zigzags of my career led me to such a view of nutrition. At different stages of my professional life, I performed duties of physiologist, biochemist, behaviorist, pharmacologist, and entrepreneur in the field of nutrition. And I did these duties with certain enthusiasm. So I passed the long way of thinking while I came to the ideas I propose to you now. And one more note before we will start. Ethic. Different aspects of nutrition become the main subject of the business of making income, and the monetary motivation can influence on players in our field. I don't want to say that those who make money on food, on diet propaganda, on regulation of food industry and so on, that these professionals lie. But even without a real lie, the switch in the things I will tell you my only interest is to pass my ideas to the next generation, to be accepted by my followers, by you. That is why this course can be considered as a rare chance of honest talk with a knowledgeable person. The last thing I want you to feel that this course is fully completed. Next week, a new data and new ideas will arrive, and I hope you will also source of them. Let me introduce you of myself and my journey into nutritional science. Couple decades ago, Russian Academy published my monograph, Scientific Basis of Cookery. Here it is. I was surprised it didn't become a bestseller, although it passed a strong editorial verification and got several rather excellent reviews from scientists and professionals in dietology there and from Canada and US. It was even more strange because I put in it my best understanding of the relationship between physiology of nutrition and health consequences of different food eating manner, the main concern of any reasonable person. And now I understand why. Dietology is a field where myriad of prophets are harvesting. We used to think that dietology is some kind of science. That is not absolutely true. In real science, there is an apparatus which sooner or later let us differentiate objectively facts from fiction, right theory from hypothesis, or false one. In contrast, ideas about diet are usually based on statistical data. This methodology is not so simple and very sensitive to overviewing important details and accepting facts, separated them from whole picture. Plus, experimentation in this field is expensive, needs long observation, and usually relies on questioning, which is often rather subjective. One simple sample. Statistic claims that smoking shortened their life, and an average Western man live like 88 years, but smoker will lose 8-10 years of their life. That is very popular opinion. Okay, then we found an old man, heavy smoker at age 95. Is it just statistical variation, or this particular man differs in some way? Let's assume that this man was calculated to be, according to his personal characteristic, alive for 120 years. Then it means that, yes, smoking took from him 15 years of his life, and the claim about harms of smoking is right. But we don't know for sure. Maybe this man had unusual initial life expectancy, only 70 years. Then we have to accept the opposite conclusion, that smoking prolongs his life. The trick is hidden in a simple default guess of statistics. Statistics consider that all events are the same in analyzing selection. We often forget this guess, and that makes statistical methods not applicable everywhere. Evolutionary, nutrition is the first function of any living being. It passed so long evolutionary testing and adaptation. It is so well done now that it might resist almost any stupid recommendations of feeding, at least in a short period. In my book, I analyzed numerous popular diets and came to the conclusion that almost any of them had no strong scientific basis. Yes, some of them built rather well and attractive. Some use this or that scientifically proven ideas, but at the end, those who really know physiology of nutrition cannot accept them without skepticism and certain limitations. And the main reason for that is the necessity of new scientific approach to this important subject. Such new approach should be either significantly widened in terms of evaluated characteristics, which might be counted only by artificial intelligence, or based on understanding of physiological mechanism behind the phenomenon. The standard scientific approach in many sciences suggests that one agent causes one main effect. Gravity causes falling subject down, warming causes expansion of subject size, certain microbes cause infection disease, and so on. The new scientific approach has to be based on not so common methodology, understanding of plurality of effects caused by multiplicity of causal factors. It took me next couple decades to come closer and more reasonable to this conclusion, partially while I try to understand now supplement's work. You can see it in my other book, Supplement Integrated Approach, published in 2022. And even now, my stronger side is the criticism of other diets rather than proposition of a new one which might be recommended for everybody. The secret of such nutritional style I will explain at the end of the course for those who will follow my thoughts till the end of our journey. Besides critique of the popular diets, we will make some useful practical recommendation for better personal nourishment at the end of the course, but to accept them, you have to learn that support these recommendations. And I guess it is a principal point because the best diet is an individualized one which might demand some education and the detailed knowledge of the person who will use it. The principal idea of new approach to the diet should be based on understanding that food, digestive system, and each other body functions are not separable units. Actually, when we analyze nutrition, we have to see a long chain of connected things. First of all, appetite, then food content, then its processing while passing mouth, gastric, small intestine, bowel, interaction with microflora, supply of organism needs with calories, constructive materials, and regulatory factors, interaction of the gut with endocrine and nervous systems, excretion, and so on. And all these steps have to be observed through the prism of evolutionary and genetic prehistory of organisms and food. And that is not all. You have to take in account environmental conditions and specific status of lifestyle of this concrete eater. Plus, all these aspects have to be seen in a time-related manner. Plus, we have to account economical situation of eater, his biography, and food availability. Too many factors for the simple conclusion has to be accounted for. It's really super complicated. I know that normal contemporary people avoid long explanations. They prefer short and simple rules, recipes, but think about these two reasons. Each of you is more or less unique, and nobody is more interested in your success than you yourself. Importance of your health and life success exactly for you might push you to follow this conversation. Simpler is not always the better or right. In the next section of our conversation, I will take one aspect of whole subject to share with you my thoughts about the problem. You can also send me your questions and we will overview interesting things one by one. On my side, I promise to avoid or minimize scientific terminology while keeping explanations strictly scientifically valid. One more excuse. If you think that any one lecture will make you familiar with the top secret of right nutrition, you are wrong. Only the course as a whole will teach you how to do it. In next lectures, we will look at appetite and food behavior, timesheet of food consumption. Then we will overview ingredients of food, environmental influence on food, local and social influence, embryonic and neonatal nutrition. We will shortly overlook the work of the gastrointestinal tract, although you probably know this pretty well from other courses. We will make a detailed look at food processing in the gut, cooperation of the gut with other systems, absorption and excretion. Certain attention will be paid to microbiome, its role for health, and different abilities of the body. We will look at hormonal interaction of the digestive system with other body's function. Also, we will overlook the role of food supplements and culinary input in nutrition. We will not pass by health reason of ethnic style of nutrition. We will pay attention to excretion of toxic and unused substances. Very important, we will discuss general theory of nutrition, its adequate theory versus balanced one. We will criticize popular diet and overlook monetary aspects of nutrition. Closing to the final, we will analyze artificial or occasional diets for travelers, astronauts, comatose patients, and so on. And at the end, we will analyze what can be done for individualized diet. This circle of lectures addressed to students who plan to be professional in pedagogic, medicine, biology, entrepreneurs in food industry, medicals, but also for parents and everybody who just want for themselves and their loved ones to live a longer, happier, and healthier life. Thank you for being with me today and for your attention to our beloved subject. Remember, the nutrition is a complex phenomenon which integrates all physiological systems of organism. Since now we will overlook nutrition and dietology as an integrated natural process with certain evolutionary history. And later I will provide you with list of helpful reading, recommended reading. Thank you for your attention and see you next lecture. Thank you. Done.